Welcome to the EmpowerHer Wellness podcast. I'm Morgan, and I'm thrilled to be your host and wellness coach as we navigate the path to a healthier, more confident you. As the owner of Get Fit With Me, I bring years of experience in personal training, nutrition, and coaching to each episode. Join me as we explore practical tips and strategies for fitness, nutrition, mindset, and more, all tailored for busy women just like you. Let's empower your wellness journey and achieve lasting transformation together. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the EmpowerHer Wellness podcast. I'm your host and coach, Morgan Ekovich. I hope you had a fantastic Christmas Eve with family and friends earlier this week. Today is our actual last episode of 2024, and I cannot believe it. We're going to be talking about a topic, pitfalls of traditional New Year's resolutions and all those big goals we set for ourselves that somehow we get suckered into in creating. I think goals are awesome. We're going to talk a little bit about that, but I also think that there is a way to be successful. So we're going to talk about some of the pitfalls, how to avoid the pitfalls, and how you can become one of the 8% of people to actually achieve those goals and resolutions this year. So, as we move into 2025, I want to remind you that you have probably already seen and you are going to continue to see exercise, diet, lifestyle, all sorts of advertising and marketing. There's going to be all these great deals and steals and all of those things. I want you to choose what is best for your health. So when you see a deal, I want you to remember to think about it, because so often we jump into these things because it's the new year bandwagon, new me, new year, all of those things. This year, so that you can set yourself up for success, I want you to take a pause. When you see or you hear something you want to invest in, do your research. Ask friends, reach out to me, ask my opinion if you would like it. Ask opinions of your doctors, your people in your life who maybe have tried these things. Get some support, because one of the biggest things that I see is people will invest in a gym membership, invest in some sort of nutrition program that is a low cost, and it will just end up being a monthly reoccurring. And all of a sudden you kind of forget that you're spending money on something you don't even use each month. So as all of these deals are going out, I want you to just remember to take a pause, take a breather, ask some questions, do some research before you go ahead and move forward. Because I don't want you to come back and be kicking yourself 8, 9, 12, 14 months from now and think, I'm still paying for that membership I don't use. Let's set you up for success. Let's not get caught in those downfalls and those pitfalls of New Year's resolutions and goals. So before we kind of dive into some of that, if you are tired of setting goals that only last a few weeks, or you're tired of forgetting about those memberships, this episode is for you. Did you know that about 41% of women make health-related resolutions such as fitness, diet, and wellness goals each year at the start of the year? 41%. That's crazy. Okay. Did you know that only 8% of that 41% actually achieve that goal or resolution they set? Only 8% of that 41% actually achieve it. Only about 22% report successfully keeping those resolutions past the first 30 days. So we start off with 41% of us create a goal or resolution. After the first 30 days, just about half of that group has already given up on that goal or resolution in the first 30 days. And then you take that 22%, and only 8% of that 22% actually achieve that goal. That is crazy to me. And honestly, a lot of this can be solved by breaking these resolutions down to something a little bit smaller, into micro habits, into things that are more sustainable and maintainable long term, by getting clear on what you actually want your life to look like, which we're going to dive into. So, some of the common pitfalls and problems that I see all of the time, literally all of the time, is one, overly ambitious or vague goals. So, for instance, I'm going to work out 7 days a week for an hour could be over ambitious. I'm going to work out, pretty vague. I'm going to lose 100 pounds. I'm going to lose weight, both of which are pretty vague as well. There's not much detail. You're not giving a timeline. Think about to those SMART goals: specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and timely. There are things that need to be in there when we create a clear, defined goal that we can clearly say, I've reached it or I haven't. One of the other pitfalls and problems I see is getting stuck in that all or nothing mindset. So, for instance, we go back to that first example I gave about overly ambitious. Work out 7 days a week for 60 minutes. Great. Well, what if life happens and you can't get to the gym for 60 minutes, but you can get for 30? Often, we just ditch the whole day completely. We don't try to do 30. Same thing goes with our nutrition. We say, I'm going to eat healthy. You go out to brunch with your girlfriends in the morning, and then you're like, crap, I ruined my day. And we'll start again tomorrow. We get stuck in that all or nothing mindset, especially when that goal is overly ambitious or vague. The other thing I see is lack of planning past the first 30 days. And what this means is typically what happens, and I see this all the time, is you join some sort of goal setting or you work with a coach or you literally sit down and work on yourself and you create a plan in December for what the new year looks like and for what January is going to look like. So, new year for 2025, let's use it as an example because it's coming up. You create this goal of in 2025, you want to lose 100 pounds. So, you create your plan for January. Well, this is what my month looks like. This is when I'm going to make it to the gym. This is what classes I'm going to do. This is how my nutrition's going to look. I'm going to plan my meals. You do all of the things you're supposed to do in January. February comes. We forget to put a time to plan the next month in January. So you get to the end of January, February comes. Some things still kind of stick around, some things don't. And all of a sudden, you're 3, 4 months into it, and you're really not doing any of the things you had started off doing. Kind of pulls back to that all or nothing mindset as well. New year, we hear new year, new me, all of the things. Does not mean you have to go and fix your entire life or even try to be better in all areas of your life. I do not recommend focusing on your stress, your sleep, your water, your nutrition, your exercise. I don't recommend focusing on all of those at 100% starting at once. No, that is where micro habits come in, which I'm going to dive a little bit deeper into in a little bit. But we want to take those areas and think about, okay, which one of those have I been doing consistently? Water. I've been really good at my water. I'm going to stay consistent with that. I have a plan. That one I've been doing well. I'm going to keep doing it. I want to incorporate movement now. Okay, what is realistic in what my life looks like? What is a small goal that over time is going to build up? So we have a poor plan or just a lack of a plan in general after January because all the hype is worn off. All the hype is worn off by the end of January, middle of February. One of the last things I see that is so stressful for clients is an unrealistic timeline to achieving that goal. It's stressful because we give ourselves this goal, and I'm going to use losing weight because I think it's a very black and white, and I think it's something that we can all relate to a little bit. So I have a goal of losing 50 pounds, let's say. I want to lose 50 pounds by March. It's the end of December right now. That's 3 months. Okay. So for that to happen, that my diet would need to be really strict. I need to have great recovery days as well as have a balance of strength and cardio. I would have to make sure that I'm getting flexibility, mobility work in there. I'm staying hydrated. My sleep is consistent and my stress levels are managed. And it's going to be a really strict timeline. And I may reach that goal. Maybe. Probably not. Whatever timeline you have, we have all these timelines in our head and we try to talk about, oh, I can reach this goal this year. I can reach it in the next 6 months. I can reach this in the next 6 weeks. Any timeline you give yourself, double it, if not triple it, because it takes longer than you think it's going to. Your health is not the short game. It's the long game. It's about making changes to your lifestyle that will help you be the healthiest and most confident version of yourself long term, not until you just lose that 50 pounds. Then what are you going to do? You hit that goal and then what? Okay, now we have to try to figure out how to maintain. Whereas if we try to lose that weight while learning how to maintain and sustain, you're more likely to lose that weight and keep it off longer than when we do something fast. So, those are the common pitfalls and problems that I see. This leads to burnout, frustration, self doubt. It all reinforces that cycle of stopping and starting over, that reset, all of those things. Oh, I'll just start on Monday. Oh, we'll start the new year. Oh, at the top of the month. All of those things. When we fall into those pitfalls and problems and we let those be how we create our goals and resolutions, it is really hard to have a sustainable and maintainable lifestyle that you love, that does not stress you out, that actually brings you joy and energy, that makes you more confident and empowered. So, now let's talk about the best way to build a sustainable, healthy lifestyle that allows you to enjoy the things you love while still reaching your goals. I've said it a couple times already. It's through micro habits. And really, we don't create our micro habits first. There's a step in between that we do. Once we have done this next step, we then start to pull micro habits out of it so that we can build this lifestyle. And I'm going to take you through the process. And if at any point you want to jump on a consultation call with me and say, Morgan, please help me with this, I would love your support. I'd love to help create a goal that I can actually reach that's attainable for this new year. Just go to the show notes. I've got a link in there so you can book a time with me. It can either be a phone call or Zoom. I want to make sure that you feel confident in this process and that you have a good sense of what you want your life to look like and how you're going to achieve it. So, before we start creating those micro habits, and remember, micro habits are very small goals that build on each other. I talked about our 5 areas: nutrition, fitness, stress, sleep, and water. Those are our 5 areas. Well, if I go in and say I'm going to drink 100 ounces of water, but I'm only drinking 30, my first habit should be drink 30 ounces consistently, drink 40 ounces. That is a micro habit. Slowly building that habit every day, increasing the quantity to where that end goal needs to look like. So that's an example. We use it in all areas of our life. So the first thing we need to do, though, is we need to sit down, get out a sheet of paper, get out a pencil, or grab your phone in the notes section and write out what the ideal healthy lifestyle looks like for you. Like if you could have the healthy lifestyle you love, where you feel amazing, you feel confident, you're strong, you can do all the things you want to do, you are eating the foods you like, but you also are having balance. Like, what does that look like? And I'm going to give you what mine looks like. And this is not the full thing because ideally, this is a big brain dump. And you could spend as little or as much time. The more time you spend on it, the better and the more detailed, and the easier it's going to be for us to create this vision and to backtrack it. So, for instance, mine is focusing on an 80-20 mindset, knowing that I cannot do everything 100% all of the time. So, in my ideal healthy lifestyle, I'm focusing on 80-20 mindset, which means moving my body for 30 minutes every single day. That can look like strength, cardio, flexibility. It's just intentional movement, intentionally moving my body for 30 minutes every day. I've learned the skills to put in the reps to be able to balance my day, balance my nutrition so that desserts, cocktails, and yummy meals do not derail my progress. Do not make me feel like I have failed. Do not let me fall into that all or nothing mindset. I'm hitting my water goal with ease. It's 100 plus ounces of water every single day. Having techniques that I can do and go to reduce my stress and have good sleeping habits. I've got a great sleeping environment. I've been able to transition my phone out of the bedroom. I've been able to keep the lights low to calm my body down. I'm spending time winding down at the end of my day. I'm spending morning time to myself to start my day stress free. I'm getting enough quality and quantity of sleep, 7.5 to 8 hours, hitting all of my REM phases that my body needs. I'm waking up and getting out of bed when my alarm goes off. I'm lifting heavier than I was before. I'm injury free because I'm focusing on my mobility and my flexibility and not just strength training and cardio. Everyday activities are easy and effortless. When somebody asks me to do something, my body is able to do it. When I feel overwhelmed and stressed, I have the tools and techniques to step aside, pause and reevaluate how I need to respond. So that is what a healthy lifestyle looks like to me, Morgan Ekovich. You may see some of that in yourself. You may see none of that in yourself, but I need you to sit down and decide. And this is not a cut and dry, like, once you write this down, that doesn't mean that's what it has to look like. Because you may choose, like, 30 minutes is not really what I want that look like long term. Great. But I need you to get something out of your head, have something in all 5 of those areas: sleep, stress, nutrition, exercise, and hydration, because those are the 5 things we need to have a great balance of in our life so that we can feel our best. We need to brain dump that. Once we've brain dumped, so I've got that brain dump. I just went through, I read it all to you. Then we choose a micro habit. So for instance, let's go to that water one. 100 ounces. Okay, I'm currently consistently drinking 80 ounces. Do I sometimes hit 90? Yes. Do I sometimes hit 70? Yes. I'm going to keep it at 80. So for the month of January, I'm going to focus on 80 ounces of water. Okay, let's look at that movement. How consistently am I currently getting that 30 minutes? Ooh, not very often. Like once a week. This is hypothetical because I've been working on this for a long time. So I am almost close to what this looks like. There is a few things in the sleep and the stress that need to change. But when it comes to the exercise, the nutrition, and the water portion, I've got those down and I am living that lifestyle right now. I'm living that lifestyle. I'm that 8% in those 3 areas. So for you though, let's say it is the 30 minutes every day was what a healthy lifestyle looks like for you and something you want to achieve. But you're doing one. You're going to start with one. And if you can get a second one in, that's a bonus. And we track it. And then we build. We track it and we build. The final piece to this is every month, you have to make sure you put something on your calendar to be able to say, this is what I have accomplished this month. This is what I have not accomplished. Why did this not get accomplished? What didn't work? What systems did not work? What strategy did I try? Oh, I didn't put it on my calendar. Okay, let's try to put it on the calendar for the next month and create your plan for the next month. Because so often we forget to reflect and look back at what works and what doesn't work. And that is what happens is we get stuck in this field of do more, do more, do more, do more, doesn't work, doesn't work, doesn't work. Try something new, try something new, try something new. Sometimes we don't have to try something new. Sometimes we have to just be more consistent. Sometimes we just have to create a better system of, okay, I put it on my calendar for the whole month. Maybe planning a whole month at a time is not ideal for your life. You need to plan every 2 weeks. Maybe that's not ideal. Maybe it's every week. Maybe it's every couple days. Everybody is different. Your lifestyle and your life and your family dynamic and your work and your extracurriculars, those are all different from mine. Yes, there's similarities. I can tell you guaranteed what works: planning, putting it on your calendar, making an appointment. But how often that has to happen for you is totally different than me. You have to have that conversation with yourself, or you have to book a consultation with me, and we have to have that conversation of what realistically looks like for you. So once you've created this lifestyle that you want, you've written it down, you're reading it, you're like, this is the lifestyle that I want. We create micro habits. And I recommend do not start a micro habit for all 5 categories. Do not. Pick 3 at the max and make them so small that they seem boring. They should be so boring. And once they've gotten more boring by you doing them, then you can increase them. For instance, that water. I'm at 80. Once I feel like I've been drinking the 80, I feel like I've been drinking the 90. I know I've been drinking the 90. I've been tracking. We bump that up. For the working out, I've been hitting that 1 day a week. I'm ready for 2. I am ready for 2. Bump it up. Number 3, that nutrition. We're not overhauling your entire nutrition. And I do not recommend starting with cutting something out, especially at the new year. There's so much happening that cutting out sugar right away. Some of you may do great. Some of you may become the most irritable people in the entire world. If that is how you'd like to choose and live your life, you are more than welcome to. But I highly recommend, instead of pulling something out, adding something in. Do a food log. Go back to episode 3 and think, okay, have I tracked my food? Do I even know what I should be focusing on in my nutrition? Are you eating any vegetables? Are you eating protein at each meal? Are you eating breakfast? Choose something in that nutrition area. Don't try to overhaul and do it all, because you will not be successful, especially when you're working on these other areas, because it's too much change all at once. It's exciting and it's motivating and it will last. It will last for a little bit, but I know it drains out. I've been there time after time, year after year. So when I create my New Year's resolutions and goals, I always look at, what do I want to improve on? What do I need to improve on this year to help get me to that end goal? So for me, this upcoming year, I did 3 5Ks in 2024. One of my goals for last year was to be able to run a 5K. I hadn't run one in probably 6 years. I ran 3 of them this fall, and it was awesome, and they're addicting. So next year, I'm going to find a race, because I know it's something I enjoy and it helps me give me something to work towards in that exercise. So instead of just moving my body because I know it feels good and I know I need to, sometimes having a goal such as a race you want to do is a really good way to put something on the calendar that's also an external motivator. But when we have that race, we're crystal clear. We're not creating an unrealistic timeline. I'm not going to say I'm going to run a marathon by February. It's not happening. No, if a marathon is something that's in my vision for this upcoming year, I have to realistically think and do some research. How long does it take to train for a marathon? Is it 12 weeks? Is it 16 weeks? Is it 6 months? How long does it take? Okay, work my way backwards. Sign up for that marathon. So you've got something on. You have a timeline that you have to hit it. Now work your training backwards. So often we just go in with I'm going to do it all. And there's really we're being motivated by all the other things around us. We need to be internally motivated to do the boring things, because the boring things are the things that are going to make your health successful long term. Your health should be boring. If you are trying something new every couple weeks, if you are trying a new diet, a new fad, a new gym, a new exercise routine, a new sleeping system, you are not giving your body enough time, 1, to get used to it, 2, to even figure out if you're consistent, and 3, to even see if it's working. Change does not happen rapidly. And that is one of the other reasons why we get so burned out is we go 0 to 100 in January. We don't see the results we want in the first 30 days, so we say screw it. It's all good. I'm not going to see them. I'll try something new next month. Give yourself time. When we talk about that realistic timeline, double it, triple it, maybe 4 times it. Everybody is different, but you have to at least double it. Triple it is usually where I find it to be the most realistic. Your goals, your resolutions matter. The first thing you need to do is figure out what that lifestyle looks like for you. What do you want that goal lifestyle to look like? Then work your way backwards. Start small. Start small. I'll say it again. Start small. The actions you should be doing should feel boring. Once they feel boring, you're ready to increase that micro habit or add on an additional micro habit. Because when we add it all on, when we add all 5 categories at once and we go 0 to 100, our stress level goes up here. We don't sleep well. We're extra hungry. We hang on inflammation. And when our body just does things when our stress is out of whack. If we can learn how to slow down, dial in, and instead of creating a goal or a resolution for each year, for only that year, and instead create that long-term goal and resolution on what you want your life to look like, and then create micro goals and resolutions throughout the years, you are going to be successful. You will be that 8%. You will learn how to make sustainable and maintainable change that will last a lifetime rather than being on that hamster wheel of starting and stopping, starting and stopping, starting and stopping. So, as we wrap up today, I want to remind you that we talked about a lot, and it is so easy to get sucked into all of the promotional and marketing and New Year's resolutions things. It's the game. It's out there for a reason because it works. If you are looking to invest in a gym, a program, a diet, whatever it is, do your research. Take a pause before you push the purchase button. Make sure it's something that aligns with that long-term lifestyle that you want. If it does not align, don't do it. If it aligns, try it out. Make a micro habit. If it's the gym, you just joined ad when you're going to your calendar. When are you going to go so that that membership gets its use? You're going 0 right now? Start with 1 day a week. Start with just 1 day a week. Pick how long you're going to go for, the time of the day, add it to your calendar. It is a non-negotiable. It is so important to give ourselves grace and to take things slow and to slow things down and to not do it all at once. Create that long-term goal and resolution that you want your body and your life to look like. And then we're going to create micro goals and resolutions along the way. So, as you are listening, remember to go check out the show notes. You can join into our Busy Moms fitness, nutrition, mindset, and accountability community. In there, it is for busy moms, but it's also just for busy women. So make sure to click that link, jump in, get free accountability, support, access to me, a free training every month on a topic you've asked for. Also, starting in 2025, we're going to go to weekly podcasts here in our Empower Her Wellness podcast format, and I am super excited. So every Thursday, you'll be looking for a new episode from us. And once again, we've got some awesome guests already set up for 2025. So I'm really looking forward to that. And the last two things, if you have questions about today, or you're feeling a little overwhelmed and you need a sounding board, you need someone to talk this through, go to the show notes and book a 30-minute consultation with me. Let's get you a plan that you feel good with, that you feel confident with, that you do not feel overwhelmed with. And finally, if you listen to today's episode and you are thinking of that one friend or that one family member that you're like, they are that hamster wheel person, I think they would really benefit from today's episode, open up your phone and share this episode with them. So I hope you have a fantastic New Year's Eve, New Year's Day, and I will talk to you all, or I will see you all next Thursday for our first episode of 2025. Talk to you then. Thank you for listening to the Empower Her Wellness podcast. I hope you feel more empowered and ready to tackle your wellness goals. If you have any questions or topics you'd like me to cover, feel free to send me a message. Make sure to subscribe and leave a review to help us reach more women just like you. Until next time, take control of your wellness and keep empowering yourself every day.